Well, good afternoon from Mount Zion. There's so many places here. For example, the tomb of King David is here. The room of the Last Supper, the cenaculum, is there. And of course, I do have videos of it on my YouTube channel. But this time, we will visit one of the most beautiful churches that's been renovated lately by the Germans, Benedicts, Catholic, and this is the House of Mary. Now, before you're gonna shout at me, how do I know that this was the house of David? We're talking about traditions. At the 4th century, Mount Zion was one huge church. A huge church. Part of it was the House of Mary. We know that the room of the Last Supper, it's actually the Pentecost room as well. And Mary was part of it. Then, according to tradition, her house was here. Now, you can look at me and say, Zahi. I mean, look at that church. It looks like they built it yesterday. And first of all, they renovated it yesterday. I'm kidding, like weeks ago. But I want you to see how beautiful it is from here. Lovely, isn't it? Oh, it's a little bit chilly today. Just love that church. And the second thing that you will ask me, or you will tell me, how do you know that Mary lived here? And what do you think about the history of Mary at that area? Because she wasn't. We don't know what's happened to her after Pentecost. Well, you're right. But now we're entering into gray area. Who is, what is Mary for you? If you are Catholic, then she is the Mother of God. And because of that, she is so important and sinless. She couldn't die like regular people. She was born almost like Jesus, with the help of God. Then, for the, in a way, Greek Orthodox, or Orthodox, Theotokos, the Mother of God. For the Christians, evangelists, and Protestants, it's a little bit different. She is like, she had a mission to carry God, but that's it. In a way, some will say a vessel. I'm here to beg you to accept the different options, because we are entering into one of my favorite churches, and because I believe that every Christian, everyone who believes in Jesus is a Christian, and they have different ways to worship Him. It's not that the Catholic is blamed by so many of my Protestant tourists. They actually say that they worship Mary and not Jesus. God is trying to tell me something. Guys, 3 o'clock. Then let's accept that people believe in different ways. Now, I came to here, this is not the main entrance, to show you 2 stones. This is the first one. And the second one is very close to here. Those two stones are from the original house of Mary. We have evidence of that place at least from the 1st century, but mostly for the 4th century. Remember, Mount Zion used to be a very important church. I think one of the biggest, if not the biggest one, in Jerusalem. In the past, you could find so many things here, like the tone of a horn and the nails and so many holy places. The Grail, a room of King David, which became later on to be that tomb of King David, the room of the Last Supper. Remember, it used to be huge. Then let's enter the church and enjoy the facilities, enjoy the idea of it. And yes, there are so many things to talk about, and there's so many different kind of information about it. Then, is it okay to accept that we love that story, even though some of you won't accept it as a true story? EJ, Betty, I bought that Benedictus cross right here from the shop of the church. This is the only place that I can buy it. It's made of olive wood, and we will enter the church to visit that place that Mary fell asleep. Let's talk about it before we will enter. We don't know what's happened to Mary after Pentecost according to the Bible, but there's so many evidence from 2nd century and from later on about what's happened to Mary. And it's accepted by the Orthodox and the Catholic. It's not accepted by the others. Until 1960, the idea is that Mary, before she fell asleep, the angel told her that it will happen. She asked all the disciples to come to her, to the house. Let's go even backward. Remember that John leaned on Jesus, and Jesus told him something, and we actually call it the disciple. That he loves the most. Then according to that, John was here as well, and he told the disciples, Jesus told me to be happy. Another thing that Mary told the disciples, use a torch and knead it like a fist of light. Then in that case, until today, the ceremonies of falling asleep, the Dormition of Mary, are actually happy traditions with a lot of light and actually good smell. People are walking with incense or herbs with a lot of smell, because when doubting Thomas, which came late again, wanted to see the body of Mary, when they opened the sarcophagus, she was gone. But you could smell an amazing smell of it. I know that it sounds so weird for some of you, but we are going back to ancient traditions. Then until the 1960, it was like two different ceremonies. The falling, the Dormition of Mary, she fell asleep, and they took her to Mount Olives at the Kidron Valley, and she was buried there, and 3 days later she was gone. When she was here, according to tradition, Jesus took her soul immediately. They buried her body at the Kidron Valley, and 3 days later Jesus came and took her body as well. Then the tomb of Mary at the Kidron Valley is empty. totally empty. There's another tradition of the Catholic that she was buried at Ephesus. I know that some of you already visited. Then, in that case, that was true until the 1960s, and that is true for the true story for the Orthodox. In the 1960s, the Catholic changed the story a little bit, and Jesus took her body and soul together. There was no gap of 3 days. But here, the church was built in 1900. Then you might see that the ancient tradition is still on here. EJ and Betty, I know that you already have been here, but I know that you love that amazing church. And they just renovated it lately. Then you will be able to see how beautiful it is. About coffee. This is my favorite coffee place in Jerusalem. Then if you want to enjoy coffee, Dormition, when the church is open, the coffee is open, and I love the shop here, and that's where I bought that beautiful cross. Then let's enter the church. The church is divided into two: the daily church and the grotto. Of course, the grotto is so important. Sadly, we are the only one here. Why sadly? Sadly because there are no tourists. But it's so beautiful to see it. And let's start with that Benedictine. You can see the word Zion. And you can see the round things. It goes from the non-holy to the holy of the holy. You can see the zodiacs. You can see the 4 evangelists. And holy, holy, holy. Look how beautiful it is. Look at the floating cross. And Mary and Jesus, and remember it, the blue color of royal, the red color of royal. Jerusalem in heaven with the 12 gates, so modern, so beautiful. There are 6 chapels here. Every chapel is dedicated to someone else. Hello, Moses. I mean, it's like a piece of art. And this is the way to the crypt. But let's see the other 3. Hello, John the Baptist. Such a beautiful place. Let's go to the crypt, to the grotto. And we are alone here as well. Before we will reach the place that Mary fell asleep, let's look at that. Let's look at it for another time. Now I know that it was fast, but what you saw, as I believe, is Mary holding Jesus' baby. True, isn't it? Remember, their church was built before 1960, before the story was a little bit changed. And what you can see here is Jesus holding the soul of Mary, and you can see the body of Mary, and the disciples are with her, including the bishops, and even Paul, and even the women, because she asked for the women to be with her as well. And this is Mary. It's incredible, isn't it? Above Mary, there's a dome, and I forgot to mention it. That church is dedicated to Mary, but above her is Jesus. Around him, you can see figures of women who are kind of prefiguration of the future Mary. For example, you can see there Judith, Ruth, even Eve. Remember, Eve committed a sin, but Mary decided to crush the snake. I love that place. And even here, there are a few chapels from different places of the world that dedicated to Mary. And some of you will recognize it. I love it. I just love it. Are those icons? Not really. It's used, they created it like an icon, but icon at the Greek Orthodox Church was a place to worship. And here, no one will kiss and touch the icons. Then it's like a different kind of solution. It's not worship, it's art, in a way here. The lamp is Jesus. Gold is above us, and the name of Jesus is there as well. This is the closest place of that church to the room of the Last Supper. And you can see here Mary with the 12. And the olive fire. Pentecost. Pentecost. It's so sad to be here alone, isn't it? But for you, it's better. I can talk. Ooh, something happened upstairs. Another 3 chapels. Betty, EJ, I know that you had difficult days lately. And if you reached 21 minutes, it means that you are excellent disciples. I will be happy if you will write something for EJ and Betty in one of the comments and say, we are praying for you, EJ, that you will be healthier and everything that you suffered will gone. I'm asking you to do that for him. I know that Betty is reading every comment. Then try to be nice to her. Guys, thank you for being with me in that beautiful time. And before we say goodbye, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And there's something else that I wanted to see. If you want to have your own cross, different kind of crosses, go into the Buy Me a Coffee link or send me a message if you won't find it. The Buy Me a Coffee link is at the description, the text beneath my video. And I will bless it in one of the places in Jerusalem that you will ask. I will upload the video, and of course I will send the cross or the Bible or the rosary to your house. Why I love that place? Because I can read it for you in Hebrew and you won't understand it until I will tell you that there's on the first it's Genesis chapter 1. בראשית ברא אלוהים את השמיים ואת הארץ, והארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו וחושך על פני תהום, ורוח אלוהים מרחפת על פני המים, ויאמר אלוהים יהי אור ויהי אור. Beautiful, isn't it? Guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, but mostly don't forget to bless Betty and especially EJ that needs your prayer. Thank you very much for being with me in that beautiful tour and see you in my next video. Bye bye.